Good morning. It's great to have you. I want to welcome everybody who's watching us online. It's great to have you join us as well as we are continuing our series, Not True. Okay, it's been so good so far, but this whole series, we've been kind of going off of this whole premise. If it's not true, it will misguide you. And again, I think most of us understand this. I think we get it, that if we believe something that's not true, if we go on information that isn't true, it will misguide our lives. It will harm us. If you listen to investment information that isn't true, you're probably going to lose your money. If you listen to diet information that's not true, I know that I'm type 2 diabetic and my blood sugars are kind of high sometimes, and what I thought was, okay, I'm going to stop eating like bad stuff and I'm just going to drink fruit juice. Like fruit juice, my doctor said, that's the worst thing you can do. I didn't know that. It's like misguided. When we don't have the facts, when we believe something that's not true, it will misguide our lives. We will act differently. We act on what we know to be true, and we'll go down that road that'll be very harmful to us. And so it's very important. As a matter of fact, there's kind of a practice we have around here, and that is asking ourselves often. When you hear something, even when you hear somebody giving a message or you read a book or whatever, it's a great thing to ask yourself all the time, is that true? Because we hear a lot of things. I mean, there's all kinds of information out there, but it really will help guide our lives if we just ask ourselves that question, is that true? Especially we have election season coming up, just ask yourself, is that really true? Because we hear all kinds of stuff. And you know what? If we don't want our lives misguided, we need to know the truth. Now today, we're going to talk about a Christian cliche that I think, it's not just a Christian cliche, it's kind of a cliche that we've all heard. I'm sure we've all heard it. Maybe you said it, but it's this. Money is the root of all evil. And I think you've heard that. It's been said a lot that money is the root of all evil. Like money is this horrible, bad thing. And the reason why we believe that's true, the reason is because of this. Because when we see corruption around money so often, I mean, look at government, so much of our government, is just so corrupt, and there's so much dollars involved, and we think that wherever there's a lot of money, there's incredible corruption going on. Look at Hollywood. I mean, Hollywood, all this money in the entertainment industry, and so much corruption in it, and so much evil, and all of these things that we think that money is the root of all evil, because wherever there's a lot of money, it just seems like this horrible things going on. Bernie Madoff. I mean, hey, there's a name for you that, like, wow, all this money, and look at how deceptive and how corrupt it is. And so we think that money is the root of all evil. As a matter of fact, even in our own lives, each one of us have had an experience. I'm sure we've had an experience where either somebody tried to scam us, or we've been scammed, or maybe we hired somebody and they didn't do all the work, or they wanted extra money. This whole idea about where you got money, there's this tendency for lying, cheating, stealing, corruption to go on. So we kind of think that money is the root of all evil. But we're going to challenge that today and just think about this. Now just stop and think about it. Is that true? Is money really that evil? Let's just watch it and see. I don't know. It's not doing nothing right now. Maybe it's nervous. Money. Do something evil. As a matter of fact, I can think of so many good things money has done. Just think of all the hungry people that money has fed. Homeless people that money has housed. Just think of how much money has perpetuated the gospel message of Jesus Christ. That we could look at money and say, money is very positive. When I look at this church, I see that your giving, money, has produced so much for God. That all of this takes money. It does. It takes money. And there's so much money in the building, in the lights and insurances and all of the programs and the staff and all. It goes on and on and on, the amount of money that it takes. But look at all the good that the money is producing. Look at all the good. We see all the time that God is healing people from addictions in our Monday night program. And really, God is moving in their lives. Divorce care, God is setting people free. our children's ministry, the children's wing in this church, that God is doing so much, that little kids are discovering that God is really their Father in heaven and He loves them and cares for them. And how many lives, how many of you and I, how many of us have discovered things about God and how through Jesus Christ He has forgiven us. And our guilt is gone, and the music and the worship that we go through, and how much it just blesses your soul inside. How many good things that money has produced. That money actually could be a good thing. And I think just like all of the Christian cliches, I think that there is a reason why we believe that, because there's something written somewhere that's kind of close to that. But like last week we discovered, one word changes the meaning of everything. And I think the closest thing that we can get to this is when the Apostle Paul wrote a letter to Timothy, his young apprentice. Paul has this young guy that he trains him and teaches him. He's discipling him to be a pastor. And we are so fortunate to have copies of some letters that Paul wrote to him. And here's what Paul wrote to Timothy, a young pastor, in one of his letters. And he says this: "For the love of money is a root of all kinds of evil." So it's not really money that's the issue. It is a love of money. It is this desire that is evil or can produce all kinds of evil things. Money by itself is neutral. Money can be used for incredible good. But it is this love, it's this desire, this is longing that I have to have more that can cause all kinds of evil. And I think Mark Twain probably said it more accurate than anybody else. Listen to what Mark Twain says this. He says, "The lack of money is the root of all evil." That is probably more accurate. It is the lack of money. It is when you and I want more money. It is our desire for money. It's the desire, it's the love that causes all kinds of difficulties, all kinds of struggles in our life. As a matter of fact, Paul writes more to Timothy. He says, he kind of finishes the sentence with this. He says, "The love of money is the root of all kinds of evil. Some people, I would say many people, almost all people, eager for money, have wandered from the faith and have pierced themselves with many griefs." So many people eager for money. I've got to get more money. I've got to have money. I've got to get more money. And you know what happens sometimes? So many people, it has happened to me, drifted for a while, kind of this pursuit of money, got to get more money. It kind of drawn me from the faith. It kind of like took priority over my own faith in God and eternity. It kind of took priority over that, kind of stepped in place of that, this desire and being eager for money. And you know what? It has caused many, many griefs. Every one of us probably have a story of grief because of this desire for money. It's caused us problems. It's caused us issues. It's caused us sleepless nights. This desire for money. The saddest thing, if this don't make you cry, the saddest thing, about a month ago, my oldest daughter, Leah, I love her to death. About a month ago, we were just talking, and she said, "Yeah, well, Dad, I don't mean to hurt you, but I never knew you growing up." Like, wow, talk about tear your heart out. My own daughter says, "I never knew you growing up." My son Mikey teases me all the time, "Yeah, Dad, where were you?" And when they were young, I was working 2 jobs, going to school for business. I was never home. And I can tell myself, well, it was just being responsible, just thinking about the future. And you know what? That is BS, and I don't mean Bible study. This is this hunger, and this drive for more money. And I think it's caused all of us trouble. They say, think about your own life, they say most people, the struggles in their marriage is mostly about this desire for who's going to spend more money. This desire for more money and how much it causes grief in our life. And And really, and sometimes even good people are tempted to lie a little bit, to just, not be totally honest, to maybe cut corners a little bit. Why? Because we think we can get more money. It's more money that drives us to do that. It's more money that well, if they don't know, I won't tell them. And there's this kind of thing, this desire. Now, I know that not everybody does evil things with money, and it doesn't cause everybody grief. But for most of us, it's caused us all kinds of grief in our lives because of this love and this desire for more money. More. Just a little bit more. I remember, I could be 8 years old when my dad first told me, Sonny, how much is enough money? A little more than what you got. A little more than what you got. And boy, is that a principle. It's just always a little more than what you got. A little more. Doesn't matter how much you have, it's just a little more than what you got. This desire that we have for money. But you just gotta wonder, why? Let's just think about this. Why do I want money so bad? Why do I have this desire? Why are we eager for money? Why do we think just a little bit more money? And most of us will think of that. A little bit more money, a little bit more money. Why? And it really comes down to this. It's really a heart issue in our lives. It's a heart thing in there because really the drive that we have, why we want more money is because we believe that money is going to give us something. We do. We think that more money will make me more happy. We believe that. We think that if I just had a little more money, then I would be secure. That's my struggle. I'll tell you, that's the thing I got to keep going to God with. So I think a little more money and I'll be more secure. Or we think that money, a little more money, not only will I be happy, not only will I will have peace. I'll finally be able to relax. I'll finally rest. I'll have peace in my life. If I have more money, just a little more money is going to give me more peace in my life. Or a little more money is going to give me more control of my life. That, I'm going to control my destiny. If I just had more money, a little more, I would control it a little bit more. And it is this heart thing. It is our desire thing on the inside. Is why we want more money, because we believe, we do, not all of us, but most of us, we really believe that money will give us something that we really want. Peace, security, control in our life. But the fact of the matter is, the only people who believe that are people without money. Because people who get there, people with money, they know it's not true. They know it's not true. When some people, and very few people get there, but when some people get to the place where they have so much money that they control their destiny, they can do whatever they want to do, they can take life easy, and then many of those people end up committing suicide. Some of them do. Many of them get to a place in life where they're just, is this all life has? Is this it? Because the people who get there, the people who have that much money, they know money does not buy you happiness. Money does not give you security. Money cannot, it just cannot give us peace in our heart and in our life. Money can't accomplish that. But yet, inside, we think it's true because here's what most of us think. And listen, I'm no different than you. I get this. We think, people who have a lot of money and they commit suicide or they go off on drugs or they ruin their life. And why would somebody? Here's what we think. It wouldn't be true for me. I'm different. Huh? Been there? I'm different. Oh, they're not happy, but I would be. I'm different. Hey, if I had that much money, I would have peace. If I had that much money, I would be so secure. If I had that much money, and you know what? We only believe that because we haven't been there. The people that are there know that money can't buy that. But you and I aren't convinced of it. We're not. We're still going to strive. We're still going to try to get more because Deep down inside, in our heart, we believe that, well, a little more money and I'd have more peace. A little more money and I'd have more security. And we don't get it. But here's the funny thing about it. We believe that will do it, but yet every one of us have discovered in little ways that it's not true. We've all discovered that more money doesn't give us that, but yet we still think, oh, a little more will, because every one of us in our past, I want you to think about your past, like maybe the last new car you bought, or the last new house, or the last new couch and furniture or clothes, whatever it is, the last new technology thing you bought. In your mind, you thought, oh, if I could just get that, if I got a new car, I'd be content. Oh, if I just had a house like that. You know what? If we could just get that cabin, I'd have peace. Every one of us on one scale, one level or not, have discovered it's not true. Every one of us. We've discovered it's not true. Because at one time, we all thought, if I just could get that. We got that, and guess what? Now we want more. Now we want something else. That car now doesn't say it. Now I want another new car. And you know, it's like we don't understand that this is a heart issue. Money is not the problem. Money doesn't cause it. It's our desire. It's a heart issue that we think money can do something for us that it was never designed to do. Jesus is so clear. He is so honest. Jesus, I just think, hits the nail on the head with this whole money thing and desire for money. He says a very clear statement, and this is what he said. He said, no one, okay, that's not you or me, even though we think we can, no one can serve two masters. Either you will hate the one and love the other, or you will be devoted to the one and despise the other. You cannot serve both God and money. Not only can we not serve both God and money, but we can't look at, I want money to satisfy me and I want God to satisfy me. We can't be divided. No one can look to money and to God. No one can say, okay, God's going to give me peace, but money's going to give me peace. Listen, we can't be divided. We have got to make a choice. No one can serve two masters. No one can look at and say, and I know we think we can sometimes, but Jesus said no one can. It's either God is going to satisfy these needs in our life, or money's going to. And we keep thinking money's going to satisfy these needs, but money was never designed to satisfy these needs. Only God can satisfy these needs in our life. When we allow and we experience God giving us peace, God giving us security, when we understand that, then this desire for money gets in control. Because then we know that money is just to supply our physical needs. And we do need money. We need to be responsible with money. But money's designed to trade, so that we get some of the needs, our physical needs met that we need. Money was never designed. They don't make enough money to satisfy the heart. Only God can do that. As Paul is writing to Timothy, he goes on further about this whole topic, and he says this. He says, command those who are rich in this present world, which would be pretty much America, those who are rich in this present world, not to be arrogant, nor to put their hope in wealth, which is so uncertain. We struggle with really believing. We think money will give us security, so we want more, we want a little bit more. But as Paul is writing to this young pastor and teaching him these things, he said, don't put your hope in money. It's so uncertain. We've all seen the market go up and down. We've all seen economies be, booming and busting, and we've all been through it. It's going to happen again. Our money is uncertain. What we think it's going to give us will not provide what we want. Tell people not to put their trust in money. It is too uncertain. But to put their hope in God, who richly provides us with everything for our enjoyment. God provides. God gives us everything that we need. God is the one who really fills our inside. Our hope, our love, our desires, our security. You know, the whole idea of our value comes from God, not from how much money that we have. It comes from God. God provides us with all that, and God gives us so much more. And then he says this, the second thing, to command them to do good, to be rich in good deeds, and to be generous and willing to share. I believe, and I think that Paul was telling Timothy this, and I know that Jesus said this. Jesus said it this way. He said, where your money is, there your heart will be. Where we invest our money, our heart is there. That's what Jesus said. And I think about it, I think, oh, that's so true. That's so true. That we all, you know, our money, what we think is going to get us, that we put our money where we think we're going to get the most out of it, that we put our trust there, our heart is there. And I think, how do we break this desire that causes us many pains? Every one of us have experienced trouble, difficulty, struggles, arguments over this desire for more money. How do we get cured of this? If we continue to believe that money's the problem, we won't ever get help or change. Money's not the problem. Our desire for money is the problem. How do we curb a desire for money? I mean, really, when we leave here today, okay, we're going to live in this world, how do we change this idea that more money is going to make me secure? More money is going to make me happy. More money is going to give me more control over my life. More money is going to give me some kind of satisfaction and peace and value in my life. That is going to be honest all the time. How do we break free from that? I think there's the best way. There's a few ways, but the best way, like Paul told Timothy, was to be generous. To be generous. Because it doesn't matter how much money we have, generous people are happy people. Generous people are secure people. Generous people with their money. When people are generous with their money, what it does, it's like a practice of saying, I know this doesn't give me what God can. Now, we can't give away all our money, can't be that generous. We do have to use money to buy things that we need to live, to take care of our needs. But what's the only hope that we have for killing this desire for more, this belief that if I just get enough, I'll have all these things? I believe, and this is why Paul taught, this is why Jesus said, you know, your heart is where you want. When we are generous, it changes the heart. It does. It changes our heart. When we are generous and we give, it takes this grip that what I think money will give me. I think money's good. And when we give it away, we realize and we understand and we find this incredible peace with money's not it. Money's not it. This desire for more and more and more is killed when we are willing to be generous with it. Now, the book of Proverbs talks a lot about money. Jesus talked a lot about money. But there are two principles for money that I believe are so important for us, just so vitally important for us. Because money is important. And that is this. If we want to find freedom, financial freedom, if we want to lose this grip of more money in our lives, I just think there's two things that we have to do. Just two. Every one of us can remember. It's simple. Two things. And I think it's just good advice for all of us. I tell my kids this. I would tell any young person this. I would tell you if you were my age this. I mean, everybody. And that is this. When we make money, money has a purpose. Use it for that purpose. It is to buy the things that we need to get through life. Okay, here's what we can do. Give 10% away and save 10% and live on the rest. I guarantee you, if you're looking for financial peace, that's the way to get it. This desire that controls our life for more money, more and more, and cause all kinds of ruin in our life, doing this in life, doing this activity sets us free, breaks the chain. No longer does this control our lives, this desire for money. When we are generous and we give 10% of our money away, and we save 10% for the future, and we learn to buy the goods and services that we need with the 80%. And you say, well, Kevin, what if I don't have enough money? I would suggest this: then you lower your standard of living to the money you do have. Give 10% and save 10%, because money is a spiritual thing. It's a heart thing. This desire for money, it's a heart thing. It's a spiritual thing. And I really believe this, and I know it's tough, but I'm going to ask you to look at it, and that is this: that money is a fuel gauge for our spiritual condition. Money is like a gauge for where we are spiritually. I look at it this way in my life, and when I started giving, giving to God, giving to the church, when I started, it was exactly that I mentally said to God, I said, God, I am transferring what I think money will give me to trusting you to give me. And when we're willing to do that, when we say, hey, you know what? Money's not going to buy for me what I think it will. I am going to be generous with it to God. And then say, God, I am counting on you to give me peace, contentment, security, which only you can give. And I am suggesting to all of us to do that. I know many of you do. If you do not, are you willing to give this a chance? I'm serious. Give this a chance. If you think I'm talking about this so that you just give your money here, give it to a different church. Because you have to discover the truth. This is the truth. I'll tell you what, any lie, if we believe a lie, it's going to misguide our lives. It's not good. We need to understand that money is a heart issue. It's a spiritual issue. And we think money's going to give us something that only God can give us. And the best way to do that is to say, God, I am surrendering to you. It could 10%, 15%, 12%, I don't care, whatever it is. Say, God, I'm giving to you. I'm just surrendering it. I'm committing this to you. I'm being generous to you because I know only you can give me. I can't buy peace. I can't buy guilt being gone. I can't buy forgiveness. But I know that you can give it to me. And I am going to surrender my control. I'm going to surrender my desire for more by being generous. And I want you to give me what only you can give me. Because every one of us want peace. We do. Every one of us want to be free from guilt. Every one of us want to know we have purpose. There's a reason that we are alive. Every one of us wants security more than anything. We want security. We want to know we're loved. We want to know we have a future. All of this only God can give. Only God. And no one can serve two masters. We surrender our money, generous to God, and look to God to fulfill us. Let's pray. Father, this is a tough thing. We live around money. Money's just, it makes the world go round. We've been told our whole life that money will buy us happiness. We've been told our whole life that money will make us secure. But Lord, it's not true. Only you can give that. Money was never designed to. Father, I'm making a step today, a commitment to you today. Like the Apostle Paul told Timothy to command everybody to be generous with their money. and to discover that only you can fulfill the heart. Only you can. Father, I'm stepping out today. I'm recommitting myself today to Father. I will let go of my control of money. I will surrender it to you, be generous to you, and ask you, Father, to give me those things that only you can give in my life. I pray in Jesus' name. Amen.